The last months of Gang Stalking was an absolute comedy show for me. Aside from me learning how to create auditory hallucinative whispers that said, "My pussy," I also learned to turn around the indirect insults that gang stalkers were imposing on me. The latest one in my gang stalking operation was the saying, "I'll take anything," which was supposed to mean that I was so desperate for dick that I would take anything. The intonation and the facial expression made it obvious that the "I'll take anything" was directed at me. However, I had the bright idea to force my mind to interpret that as the actual gang stalker telling me that he would take anything. So I began giggling every time I heard a gang stalker saying, "I'll take anything." I didn't only change the meaning to the indirect messages. In fact, I changed the meaning to every single cue. To start with, the cough. That cough. In the beginning, it used to mean that I was sturdy, that I was a disease. However, I changed that to mean that the cock was too big for the gang stalker to handle. So that took care of that. That was the first one. I made sure that every time I heard a cough, I had a thought, the cock was too big. And guess what? It took off the meaning of the cough. It just made it a fucking joke. Also very hot. Let me turn on the fan. Well, hello. Welcome to my channel, the Gang Stalking Playbook. My name is Evan Rodriguez. And in this channel, we talk primarily about the mind. I have had a lot of experiences where I have required or needed to understand aspects of my mind in order to survive. That is why this channel is called the Gang Stalking Playbook, because this channel began as a journal. However, these experiences have led me to understand aspects of the mind that I would have never thought that I would understand. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You possibly have never heard of me and have absolutely no reason to believe anything that I say. However, I challenge you to try the techniques. Try my techniques, and the results will speak for themselves. Give them an honest try. And once my techniques work, subscribe or write a comment, a like, or if you're feeling super generous, send me a shit ton of money. No, for real. Or I guess you can also share these videos with someone that you believe that will benefit from this information. Regardless of whichever one of the aforementioned suggestions you take, I will be forever grateful to you. That one, the inhale of the nose, that was just annoying. And it was done. It used to be tied to my emotion of anger. However, every time that I heard that, I switched it up with a visualization of whoever did or anyone of doing a line of coke. And it was funny. After every bang, after every single one of those, I imagined whichever coworker or whichever person first came to mind being punched in the face by a giant hand, their face being turned into the face that resembles a French poodle. So I began laughing like the whole day because there were all these cues that were supposed to make me feel negative. And I thought to myself, why the fuck am I allowing these people to dictate what I'm thinking of? So I changed the meaning of every single gang stalking cue, every single one of them. And all of a sudden, I began interpreting the entire gang stalking situation as a fucking circus because I was laughing the whole day. People's comments turned into double entendres about them. I realized this when my coworker Oscar told me, "Hey, I'm gonna take a 10." And I began laughing. So he looked at me like, what the fuck is happening? He was a gang stalker too. And I was laughing because I interpreted it as, oh, he's about to go take a 10-inch dick. And this is when I realized that the act of interpreting people's speak as an antagonized speak about the target was a habitual psychological trick that was also placed on me by gang stalkers. And if I hadn't turned all the entire gang stalking operation, I would not be able to tell you that the fact that targets interpret the speech of other people as about the gang stalker, as about the target, is because the target has been talked in double speak, where the double meaning is antagonistic to the target. And this can be done and changed if you change your interpretation of the meaning of the cues. If you make everything to point against the gang stalker, when the gang stalker says, "I'll take anything," you laugh because it means that the gang stalker will take anything. And it's funny. So there is when I learned, shit, it is all a fucking psychological habit. And the thing is that these habits were imposed on me for so many years that there is a possibility. Well, no, the possibility is not there. That it was a deliberate act. It was. It really, really was. But I turned the entire operation on its head. And it was a joke. I was laughing the whole day. But to be honest, regardless of me beating and mocking gang stalking at the end, and regardless of me laughing a lot, I realized that I just wasn't wanted there anymore. I just wasn't, for whatever reason. And the truth is that regardless of me being able to beat gang stalking, the importance is that you can never change people. And whatever impression, whatever perception they have of you, they are simply not going to change because they have already made up their minds. What I don't understand though is that if the entire operation was for me to become a better member of society, when I quit, every time that I quit drugs, I was pulled into the gang stalking again. And the truth is that I am gonna assume via my experience that gang stalking is just people agreeing to hate on someone, period. That's it. With no other, how do you say, no other reason behind it. So I beat gang stalking, but gang stalking also beat me. It beat the fuck out of me. So I guess I will call it an even match because I did go through a lot of it, a lot of shit because of it. However, I learned how to control my mind and control my own perceptions. And you know, the only perception that I wasn't able to change is how gang stalkers felt about me. And that was whoever they may be. That was the one gang stalking thing that I was never able to change. So I just decided to completely cut ties with anyone that represented gang stalking in any way, shape, or form. And as sad as that might be, that was the only thing that I should have done from the first place. Is that regardless of what was happening, I should have just cut gang stalker. And the thing is that I didn't try to jump in this world, you know, I don't give a fuck. But it pulled me into it slowly. It was destroying me slowly, you know. And, you know, I made the best of it. And I went into it. And when I knew what I wanted to make out of my gang stalking situation, I fucking did it. And I'm done. I figured everything that there is to figure out. The only thing that gang stalking no one will ever find out, just like with narcissists, is why or whom, you know. But that is the one thing that you shouldn't really concern yourself with, because no one is going to tell you. It is going to be bait to pull you back in the story, in the gang stalking narrative. So if you're getting targeted, the only way out is not to beat it, but it is to stop. Is conniving a word? Conniving? Let me see. Give me 1 second. What the fuck? Not conniving. No. Let me see. I guess you can call it like cohabitate. Like cohabit. To stop sharing your life, sharing your existence with any person who is a gang stalker in any way, shape, or form. Don't engage with them. As soon as you have the inclination, someone is a gang stalker, just don't. Because they're going to be looking out for you. These people are obsessed with you. And they're obsessed with you in the worst possible manner. Because they think that you are theirs, that you belong to them. And you literally have to stop speaking to whoever it is that is involved in gang stalking. You just do. Change everyone that has acted in a way that perpetuates the gang stalking narrative. Change cities. If you change cities, you're gonna be fine. But anything that drove you deeper into the gang stalking narrative, you have to quit. That's the truth. You just have to. That's why when some people began getting gang stalked, you know, that's one thing that I noticed from the very beginning of gang stalking, was that people who began getting into gang stalking, that began getting trained to be targets, they just, boom, began behaving. They just turned onto their best behavior in every way, shape, and form. And the gang stalking stopped. And that's the thing, is that there has to be something for you to be ashamed of. Something that people can step on your tail with, you know. You have to have skeletons in the closet, like they say. That's it. Well, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.